Hey friends, so today I'm going to talk a little bit about reading readiness and what that is and how that works at home, especially um, homeschooling your kids during this time or thinking about next year and how you're going to fill those summer hours without camps and little things that you can do. So just some fun things for reading readiness. Reading readiness starts when your baby's born. Uh, you get your child ready to read by talking to your child. You can do that with an infant, carrying them around the house and becoming like a narrator of your life. That helps with reading readiness. And as they get older and they can talk back and babble with you, pretend like you know what they're saying and have a conversation. Reading readiness is also reading to your child, reading books with your child and asking them questions and pointing out words that you see and reading those words. And every child is unique. Every child is different. Some kids will sit in your lap for an hour and read a book after book after book, or the same book for an hour. Some kids will walk around the room while you're reading and come and check in and keep walking or play and come and listen. Every kid is different and unique, and every kid learns to read at a different time. If your child is interested in letters at 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 and interested in reading at any time it could develop. So every child is different. So I want you to keep that in mind as you are reading with your kids and exploring letters and sounds and what those mean together. Just keep in mind that kids' interest levels are different and they will develop differently. From what if you have more than one kid, they're probably all going to be different. And your kid's going to be different from your neighbor's kid. So just remember your child's unique and they are developing and they are growing and they will learn to love to read if you foster that love of reading with them. The number one indicator for academic success for kids is being read to when they're small. That's it. It's not their socioeconomic status. It's not race or religion. It's not the neighborhood. It's not the school they attend. It's being read to by their loved ones. So just keep that in mind too. So reading readiness, you do have to kind of know your kids and know their interests. My youngest is 2.5, and he last summer, so before he was 2, started noticing letters, and he would call them ABCDs, ABCDs, ABCDs everywhere we saw letters, which is everywhere. And so I would read the words or whatever. So he's loved words and letters like crazy. He's the least likely of my 3 kids to sit down in my lap and read for a long time. But he loves letters, and so he likes to explore them and asks us to write different letters and asks his big sister to write different letters. My oldest loved books before she could sit up. She liked to sit and she couldn't sit, but she would like to look at books. And she would sit and listen to a chapter book when she was 3. She just loved books and stories and ideas that were in books. My middle guy is on the autism spectrum, and his language developed differently, but he would sit in my lap for an hour and listen to books. He loved books too. He loved looking at them upside down, but he loved books too. So every kid is different, so just keep that in mind. And you got to know your kids and know what their interests are. And if you get a book, if your kid loves trains and you get a book about princesses, they might not be as interested as a book about trains. That doesn't mean you shouldn't expose them to books about different topics. You totally should. You should always expose your kids to new things. Just realize that they're more likely to sit and listen to a book and a topic of their interest than one that's not. So that is reading readiness for now. How do you know if your kid's ready to learn about letters specifically, like to do letter activities? Well, you don't until you do it. So I have letter boxes that I'm going to be showing y'all. And just keep in mind, there are a billion letter learning activities, and stores are full of them, and Amazon is full of them, and you can find a billion different ideas on Pinterest. I've just picked the ones that I have seen work in the preschool classroom, that I've seen work with my kids, or that looked fun and interesting that I thought they might like, and a couple that I made up. So just keep in mind, try something. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. One thing I would recommend when you're doing letters and you're looking at materials online or in person at the store is to keep it basic, as in basic letter sounds, short vowels, ah, eh, ah, not OW for owl, because OW says ow. O doesn't say ow, OW says ow. So you don't really want owl as your picture for the letter O. Just like you wouldn't want xylophone for your letter X. Usually X says X, and it's at the end or sometimes the middle of a word. So you wouldn't want xylophone. You wouldn't want, eagle and apple for examples of your vowels. You want to keep the vowels short vowels, or if they have like one short vowel and one long vowel for every vowel, that would be fine. But you want to steer clear of like chair for the letter C, because C doesn't say ch in chair. CH says ch in chair. C says k in cat or cool. And you wouldn't want TH, you wouldn't want that or there or thick for T, because TH says that sound. T says t. So keep it to the basic vowel sounds if you're looking at, different books or cards, or if your kid is old enough and likes to write your letters or do worksheets or something. I would keep it very, very the most basic sounds, because that's how they're going to start to learn to read, with those basic sounds. And the other thing I would say is the more hands-on, the better. Worksheets are fine if your kid likes worksheets, but most kids who are 5 and under, worksheets are not the best way they learn. They learn with their hands, they learn by doing and painting and doing. The more involved their body is, the better. In fact, that goes for just about anything and most people. If you can do it and touch it and feel it and make it yourself, you're going to learn it better. And that's the same for young kids too. So worksheets aren't the best for learning about reading or reading readiness, or for learning their letters and how to form them. You want it hands-on. So that's all I have for my quick little blurb about reading readiness. And stay tuned for letterboxes. I'll see you later. Bye.